Hello, hello. Welcome to Throwback Thursday, June 7th, 2018. Steve Sipress here. Recently moved. Those of you know that are following along with my videos. And so I did a ton of spring cleaning in the move and got rid of a ton of stuff and made it a little easier to make the move. And found a whole bunch of stuff that I'll be sharing over the upcoming, probably for months. Here, if not years, here on a Throwback Thursday. I got so many things to share. Look what I found. I found my final paycheck after my nearly 3.5 years that I spent as a consultant with a Yellow Page publisher. So there it is. There's the company, R.H. Donnelly, publisher Reuben H. Donnelly, the name of the guy who invented the Yellow Pages in Chicago in 1800 whatever. We were supposed to memorize that in a script, so, but obviously I did not. But I digress, although there's a lesson right there. Whatever sales script the company gives you, if it's not good, like, use your own, or find a consultant, somebody who knows how to write scripts, which I just happen to be. So I wrote my own script that worked a heck of a lot better, and I broke all their sales records and made more money than I was supposed to, than anyone thought anyone could there, and all that kind of stuff. So so there's the date. So it's February 20th, 2009. Now, I had started my Chicagoland Sharpest Entrepreneurs Group. I started it as a chapter of the Bill Glazer, Dan Kennedy Group, the GKIC, Glazer Kennedy Insider Circle, in September '08. And I had a plan that I made a promise with my beautiful wife, Michelle, that I would replace my income before I left the Yellow Pages. So I started that to get my consulting business back up in gear, started that chapter to bring in clients and do my consulting, and just to have fun because I love just teaching business owners marketing and sales and advertising. And so I would do that part-time while I was still at the Yellow Pages, but I would not leave the Yellow Pages until I had replaced my income. And I gave myself 1 year to do it, and that was the plan. And it ended up after just a few months, I'd already pretty much done that. And I hadn't replaced the full income, but I'd replaced enough of an income to pay all the bills and keep us, living well. And my beautiful wife, Michelle, thankfully graciously agreed that I could leave, even though I had not yet completely replaced the income from my full-time Yellow Pages sales job. And the argument the conversation was like, look, if I'm doing this part-time, with the consulting business, imagine what I can do dedicating the time full-time. So we're already paying the bills, and now if I can leave the Yellow Pages and that crappy corporate job working for a really dumb corporation, they did go bankrupt 3 times in just a few years after I left. Now, it's not like I'm by any means I'm saying because I left they went bankrupt. Clearly that's ridiculous, but they were a crappy company, really poorly run, didn't know what they were doing in almost any sense of the word, except back in the days before the internet, when they were pretty much raping and pillaging small business owners and charging outrageous rates for their Yellow Pages ads because there was no other way. Every company knew they had to be in the Yellow Pages pretty much, especially service businesses, contractors, plumbers, heaters, heating and air guys, that kind of stuff. When a storm hit or when some emergency happened, you went to the Yellow Pages for the internet. So they just charged exorbitant amounts, made tons of money. But when the internet came, it exposed all kinds of bad business practices, and it's a quick downhill ride, and stock went to zero and they went bankrupt. They came out of it, they went bankrupt again, came out of it, went bankrupt again, and who knows what's happened since I stopped paying attention. But anyway, so I had to leave that thing. It was just horrible. And, make good money and helped a lot of business owners and helped them make a lot of money, but did not enjoy working for a dumb company that, basically didn't listen to any of my great ideas. So I just did them for myself and outsold all their sales reps with, working so much less that I could spend half the time working and the other half the time building my consulting business. And they didn't even know that I was no longer, I hardly ever showed up at my cubicle anyway. So they didn't really notice that I was not, that 3 days a week I was working on my consulting business. And 3 days a week I was working on my Yellow Pages business. I just stacked all my appointments, so I had 5 a day, 3 days a week. Other people went on 3 appointments, 5 days a week. I was like, can't do that. I got to spend 3 days a week building my consulting business so I can get out of the Yellow Page business. Makes sense? So anyway, Toby's here, Jerry is here, great seeing you. Yes, and Ace comes in and says, then I broke them. So I broke all these sales records. Then along came Ace Luciano and started breaking my records. And because he's a phenomenal salesperson. But I will say that he was the smartest thing he ever did, if you ask me, was look over my shoulder where I was putting together my own marketing that the company, again, was dumb enough to not do, and I was doing it for myself, and he was the only rep smart enough to look over my shoulder and go, what is that? And I was like, well, that's a letter that I'm sending out, and it beats the heck out of everything they teach and whatever system they have. And he's like, can you print one up with my picture and my name and my phone number on it? I was like, sure. So I take hours and hours and all my years of experience and skill and put together this winning marketing program. And then sure, he's doing the same thing as I am, so let's just put his name and number on it, and boom. And even though he probably would have broken my records anyway, I bet that helped him to break the records, that he was smart enough to copy some of the things I did. Not everything, but copied a bunch of the stuff enough that it made him happy, made him a lot of money, and then he moved on. And he's been a client ever since, been a long-time client for about 10 years. And Rob says 1999 was the year, oh, I thought he was going to say the year you were born, and I was going to say, nice try. But Rob, great seeing you first of all, Rob. And Rob says 1999 was the year I ran an ad in the Yellow Pages, focused on direct mail to the exact neighborhoods I wanted to be in, and my business exploded in profits. Yeah, see, in those days, the Yellow Pages, big money maker, still is if you know how to do it right. But back then, you could do it totally wrong and make tons of money. I mean, companies were pretty much publishing inflated versions of their business card. They just hand their business card to the rep, and the reps could be completely clueless, like they still are, and not know anything about creating winning ads, because they would just say, oh, great, put their name real big and their logo real big and say they're a plumber and put some bullet points that just proves they're a plumber, like we do sinks and toilets and faucets and pipes, and like, no kidding. There's still no reason why I call them over anyone else, but it doesn't matter. It's the Yellow Pages, and someone needs a plumber, they'll open it up, and if they call and that guy's on a job, they'll just call the next one. And, especially when a storm hits and everyone's, fences go out in a flood or something, like all the fence guys will be flooded with work for months if they're in the Yellow Pages. And even if they have a crappy ad, they're going to get the calls. But that all changed with the internet, and it changed anyway. Before that, even if anyone knew how to place a good Yellow Pages ad, which I know a bunch of people that did, and a bunch of others, including me, that wrote books on Yellow Pages advertising, and there's a whole way to do it, but most reps didn't concentrate on how to place a good ad. They just concentrated on how to sell and how to convince business owners to pay them for crappy ads. And when, like I said, the downfall of the Yellow Pages, the internet came along, got tougher and tougher to convince business owners. Are we stupid? I don't think we're stupid people. So it became tougher and tougher to convince business owners to keep running ads that didn't work, now that it was revealed that you should have an effective ad in the Yellow Pages, because you're not just automatically getting calls anymore. There's other places people can look to find providers of services. And anyway, anyway, I just wanted to show you, because it's interesting, that, so this is what happened. That's my last paycheck, February 09. And for the year to date, I had already grossed, where's my finger, $48,692.13, which is more than the average rep made at the company for working an entire year. And by the way, the paychecks, if you've ever been in sales and on commission, they're delayed. So this was commissioned from like the end of December, and it took like 6 weeks pay periods for the things to get processed and whatever, then you get paid. So I would have left at the end of December. That's when I stopped working. But I had to stay through the first 3 paychecks every 2 weeks. I'd stay for the first 3 paychecks of 09, because it would be silly to pass up that $48,692.13, of which earning sales commissions were $42,010.41 of it. So sure, we were on salary of $3,000 a month, I think. There it is, 36. I never get this right with the mirror thing. $36,000 a year was the annual salary. Man, I'm doing this all wrong. There it is. However, when you add to it $42,000 in commission, it added up to a nice $48,000. So, $48,000, and basically not working those 6 weeks. I mean, I would make it look like I'm working, go on a few appointments, but why would I sell anything? And I have to stay another 6 weeks to get paid on it. So I did sell a few things, whatever, and went on some appointments and, you know, looked busy or whatever. And I dropped from number 1 in all the rankings to like number 10. And I asked when I gave my note, when I left, I didn't give note, I just left. You know, if people are selling for you, don't let them give notice. Just have them leave. Like, you don't want someone selling for you that doesn't want to be at the company, or you don't want there. There's no notice for salespeople, by the way. That's just bogus. I mean, so I wouldn't do the disservice to them of giving them notice and then saying, I'll just half-ass the thing and not care and not want to be here and keep selling. So when I told them I was leaving, I went to my manager and I said, you know, what'd you think when you saw me for the first time ever since I've been here, not breaking all the records and dropping like to number 10 in the rankings or something? What were you thinking? She's like, I don't know. We just thought you were going through a slump, or you were adjusting to new accounts, or all this. And I'm like, wow, they just didn't realize I just wasn't working at all. Anyway, so there it is. Final paycheck, $48,000 year to date. In the first 3 paychecks of the year, more than the average rep made in the entire year there. And then I just went off and ran my consulting business full time and grew that Bill Glazer Dan County chapter to the largest chapter they had anywhere in the world, out of over 100 chapters, and helped a lot of business owners and therefore made a lot of money from it too. And since then, I've taught some other people how to run groups and how to build their income from membership situations. I created my I don't have it anymore. I don't sell it anymore, but I did coach a few people through my membership group machine, I think I called it, where I taught people how to do the same thing as I did. And I did it part-time to start. So here, the big lesson is I counsel a lot of business owners who are they hate their job and they're looking to start up a business. And I'm like, I suggest you don't just leave cold turkey. I suggest you do it this way. You take and you work 3 days on your business that you love and you want to build, and 3 days for your full-time job. And you make enough money and you build that business that you love, that you want to do on your own, to where at least where you're paying the bills, where you're making money, where you can afford to make a decision and say, now I can leave the full-time thing and I can go build my, for me, consulting business, for anyone, whatever business you're building on the side. I don't suggest you leave cold turkey. I hear it all the time from people. I hate my job. I'm going to leave it, start a business. And I'm like, whoa, do that if you want. But first, let me just give you my suggestion based on my experience. So anyone watching, if you're at a job you hate, first of all, you shouldn't be watching my videos if you're working a job, because you just shouldn't be. My videos are for business owners, for the 13% of Americans that fuel and pay and make the world go round, for the other 87% that depend on us for their paychecks and their benefits and their future and their lives and their rent and their mortgage and their car payments and everything. So, you know, those of you that are too lazy or too cowardly or you know, too selfish or whatever it is to not run your own business and just go suck off of somebody else and work for them, like you see I did here. I sucked out this commission from another company. Like, it was enough of that, and I had to get back to on my own because I hated doing that and being an employee. And someday, and I have before, but someday again I'll tell you the story about why I started there in the first place, but it ended fairly quickly, especially as far as the company is concerned. The number one rep is leaving the company after only 3.5 years. What the heck happened? So meteoric rise and then exit. But I did exit with, right there in the middle of February, already taken home 48 grand, which is enough to pay our bills for a while, and certainly enough to get my business going to the next level. Make sense? So there it is. Look who's here. Alex is here. Alex spent 10 years at the Yellow Pages. He's the only other rep ever in that office to see something I was doing and go, what's that? But then he told me later, but he didn't copy it. He didn't ask, like, can I copy that? But he's the only other one that was like, hey, what are you doing? Everyone else just thought, gee, I guess I have a good sales pitch or something, or I guess I'm following the script really well. Like, no, I put together marketing systems, which I did before and I've done since, and that's what I do. I put marketing systems into place so that salespeople don't have to cold call, don't have to wonder where the next client's coming from, don't have to follow a dumb script that doesn't work, and you're wondering how you're going to compete. And I help people to do all that stuff and blow away all the competition, working less, making more, having less stress. I love doing it. I love helping other people do it. If you want that help, go to my website. Go to stevesipress.com/consultation, and we'll get on the phone. It might take a while because I'm backed up. I get tons of requests all the time. But when we do get on the phone, I'll give you a free consultation. I'll point out some areas right away where you can put some money in your pocket. I guarantee, in fact, to find you at least $25,000 to put in your pocket on that one call. And then it's possible we can discuss doing something further from there. Alex says, hey, I remember those pay stubs, right? And since Alex stayed for the full year, his were a lot higher than just 48 grand. And Alex says it was the best 6-figure, 10-hour-a-week job, but would trade all of that for what I'm doing now, so much happier and richer. Nice. Love it. So, yeah, I made obviously well over just a single 6 figures all the time. And, yeah, once you get it down and you get it doing it right, and Alex became a manager, and then I guess you got to see the people in the morning and you see the people when they come back in the afternoon, but that's 2 hours a day. It's a 10-hour-a-week job, and made some good money, but is that fulfilling? Now Alex has his own business and helps business owners make a lot of money. He's an SEO and a website specialist. So if you have a website, hopefully everyone does, but it's not found for the most popular terms that people type in, like the google.com, and your website isn't coming up and you're wondering why, you got to contact Alex because he's a master of that. He was a master of it while he was at the Yellow Pages, helping with all that digital stuff for them. And then he just said, what the heck, I'm going out on my own and let's make 100% commission, right? Instead of whatever commission you make selling for someone else. Get out there, sell for yourself, make 100% commission. Ace says, I don't know, my last meeting has only made me about 150K. See, so Ace left the Yellow Pages and also has gone on to bigger and better things. And Ace also, I said a client of mine who that 150K, and I think you also said, oh, your last meeting with me. Very nice. I thought you were saying your last meeting with a prospect. Yeah, right. I mean, we sit down and all my clients get to spend a day with me every year one-on-one where I think for them, work for them, create for them. I put together a letter to Jerry's. First, we nail down who's his ideal prospect. We put together a letter, a sequence of letters to go right to that ideal prospect, and out of the blue, totally cold list, never heard of him, and boom, I know it's brought in over $1.5 million in business, and he has since then tweaked the letter on his own into different streams of income in different areas, and it continues to bring in clients, and he shares those success stories, and I love it, and I love to hear when people are following my advice. So hopefully you're following my advice and you're getting great results. I'd love to hear about it. Let me know. And that's it for Throwback Thursday, my final paycheck at the good old Yellow Pages, the R.H. Donald, February 2009. 9.5 years ago. And now that we're done with this, it will go into the shredder. Gone forever. But at least we have a permanent video record of it. Speaking of which, I'll be back tomorrow with another daily live video. That'll be Foundation Friday. You advanced marketers and business people need not attend or watch or listen to the video, however you're getting it, if you don't want to, unless you want a reminder of a foundational business building tip. I'll teach a basic lesson tomorrow. In fact, I just remembered I'm going to do part 3 of my 7-part series, the 7 critical transformations every business owner needs to make. So actually, it's even can be really good for advanced people. 7 critical transitions, part 3 of 7 tomorrow on Foundation Friday. I hope you'll join me then. I got to click this twice. Thanks for being here today. Over and out. Bye-bye.